Sometimes you lie. You say you're shaking and you're always aching, but you know how hard you try.
Wow. Even Bobby wouldn't worry about that copyright. Oh, kids. Oh, hi. It's your old buddy, Booberty. I had a day. Oh, man, I had a day. When I started out from the home this morning, find a copyright infringement there. When I left the home this morning, my goal, I was going 2 places. I was going to one of my favorite places on the planet. Where's my camera? Main Street Marijuana. Down on Main Street. The people in there are always so nice to me. People are so nice everywhere. I think I think it's because I've become such a cool guy. Sorry. Talked to the guys in there for a while, and I had mentioned to my driver on the way down that I just realized that I haven't been without weed for 5 minutes since it became legal. Oh, God. 30 years of being a social pariah, 'cause I smoke dope and can see it in my eye. Wow. How things change. Where's my kid? How things change. People look crazy and times are strange. I'm trying to write Bob Dylan. And the other place that I was going was oh, by the way, and we'll get back to this. I was really, I had a really bad depression, as I've mentioned, and I know now that the worst thing about living alone is when you get sick and you stay in bed for 5 or 6 days, pretty much, and you start to feel better, and you look to your left, and you gotta deal with the first thing. So it's still not done, but we'll get back to that. Just don't let it distract you. I'm not any more of a slob or less of a slob than I was the last time you saw me in the video. Oh, by the way, I made a this is the shirt that Lisa got me after I broke my hip. Gravity Sucks, and I had to add a little to that today for certain people. And so do you. You know who you are. Everybody cut footloose. Kick up the Sunday. Oh yeah, you knew I was going to do it at some point. I got my teeth in. Don't kill yourself, Annie. Jerry Mars did Eat Your Heart Out. So they cost you to send. The reason I went to the library, let's see, there's lots to learn if I choke myself. Call 911. It won't be too late. The other place I was going was the Vancouver Community Library downtown. I went there to pick up a book. I'll prove it to you. Yeah. You think I'm bullshitting. Everybody cut loose. Kick off the drive your plow over the bones of the dead. Olga Tokarzak. She's, I think she's Russian. I don't want to get that wrong. Oh, she's a baby. It's one of Poland's most celebrated. Oh, Polish. I'm sorry, Olga. I was chatting with Billy Olson last week, and she was like, "Man, I'm just taking a day, and I'm just gonna relax and read." And ever being the one to do anything I can, anytime I can, to make the women I love happy. I got wild hair, and I said, "Oh, what are you reading?" And she, it's a book called "Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead," and she probably said it was a Polish artist, but I got that mixed up. I said, it's an interesting title. As soon as I had a second, I went to the Fort Vancouver the library website and reserved myself a copy of the book. And there were 2 or 3 holds on it, so I was surprised 2 days ago when I got my library notice that I could pick it up. So I went down to the library to pick up this book, and also I was going to devote 3 hours to the 50-year mystery. And I'll spit it out because somebody might know how to help me do this. The 50-year mystery goes like headline: Bob Deshaw won a Blazer ball boy role. Now you can too. And those were the headlines on the sports page, front of the sports page of the Vancouver Columbian, sometime in the middle months of 1973. You know, and I checked the roster of the team. It was the same. The 72-73 team is the team that I was a ball boy for. Bob Davis, Sidney Wicks, Rick Allman, Larry Steele. I could go deeper maybe. They weren't a very good team. I mean, they were the second worst team in the league, I think. But that's the team. And I had been under the delusion, maybe at this point, that it was on, that it was in the Sunday paper, the Sunday Columbian. And there's a picture of me handing out, when I find it, now you'll know, handing somebody, the shot comes from handing somebody, a player, a towel. There's a picture of my mom and dad. Carl and Fern and Carl, it shows them sitting watching the game. Carl and Fern Shaw, Vancouver, Washington. Young Bob gets 2 tickets to each game. And my mom, I love my mom so much. She had the booth. She got the hair booth, and she never got the hair booth. She had her hair done, you know, every month or so. But man, it was up there. She looks hot. My dad, oh my God, it's a strange picture of both of them. But I swear to God, my dad is a wax figure. They pulled him out and they sat a wax figure that looked a lot like him for the picture, because he's just. And my dad was like that. I loved him very much. I don't think he ever really got me. Maybe I never really got him. Anyway, and I have not been able to find the article for a long time. So I was going to devote 3 hours to it today. I had loosened my search parameters to include Saturday papers. I thought maybe it was Saturday. And guess what, folks? The Columbian didn't publish a Saturday edition in 1973. So it's not that. So another dead end. But I honestly, I stopped because I was up on the 4th floor of the beautiful, I think maybe now 15-year-old Vancouver Central Library. Damn, what a building, what a place, man. But I was on the fourth floor with the microfilm and microfiche actually, and I looked at it, I said, man, I'm going to give this 2 more rolls. And I did, and I didn't find it, and then I kept going. And right as soon as I said I'm going, my bladder, God bless my bladder, bastard. My bladder started going, and I had some stuff to load up into my bag, get my cane, get to the bathroom, realized I wasn't going to make it, so I had to leave my wallet sitting out and all my stuff, and I'm not shy. I had to put my hand down my pants and clamp it off until I get to the bathroom. And I'm not gonna. Yeah, I know enough about the world today to know that you better mention that if you gotta do it. And I was behind the partition and I had my hand. And I said, "Excuse me, I have to leave my stuff over there." And oh, that's oh, no, I'm having. Oh, could you pull your mask up? I'm having a bathroom emergency. Get my stuff over there, and I shuffled off into the bathroom and didn't wet myself too much, and went back out and thanked the woman profusely, and she said, "Hey, this stuff happens, man. No problem." So I took off, and I sat in front of the library. I wanted to just, maybe read the cover of this book or something, the flyleaf. And I started out like this. Chapter 1. Now pay attention. I am already at an age, and additionally in a state where I must always wash my feet thoroughly before bed, in the event of having. I am already at an age, and additionally in a state where I must always wash my feet thoroughly before bed, in the event of having to be removed by an ambulance in the night. But the first paragraph, I'm like, that's cool language, but it's. I don't. To be fair to the writer, I don't know if it's the translation or the way she words things, but it's different and it's cool. I really liked it, and I actually read that out loud, and I just continued on. Had I examined the ephemerides that evening to see what was happening in the sky, I wouldn't have gone to bed at all. Meanwhile, I had fallen very fast asleep. I had helped myself with an infusion of hops, and I also took 2 valerian pills. So when I was woken in the middle of the night by a hammering on the door, violent, immoderate, and thus ill-omened, I was unable to come around. I sprang up and stood by the bed unsteadily, because my sleepy, shaky body couldn't make the leap from the innocence of sleep into wakefulness. I sprang up and stood by the bed unsteadily, because my sleepy, shaky body couldn't make the leap from the innocence of sleep into wakefulness. I felt weak and began to reel as if about to lose my consciousness. Unfortunately, this had been happening to me lately and has to do with my ailments. And I said, there's a clue. I had to sit down and tell myself several times, I'm at home, it's night, someone is banging on the door. Only then did I manage to control my nerves. As I searched for my slippers in the dark, I could hear whoever had been banging was now walking around the house, muttering. Downstairs, in the cubbyhole for the electrical meters, I keep the pepper spray Dizzy gave me because of the poachers, and that was what now came to mind. In the darkness, I managed to seek out the familiar, cold aerosol shape, and thus armed, I switched on the outside light, then looked at the porch through a small side window. There was a crunch of snow, and into my field of vision came my neighbor, whom I call Oddball. He was wrapping himself in the tails of an old sheepskin coat I'd sometimes seen him wearing as he worked about the house. Below the coat, I could see his striped pajamas and his heavy hiking boots. "Open up," he said. With undistinguished astonishment, with undisguised astonishment, he cast a glance at my linen suit. I sleep in something, I sleep in something the professor and his wife wanted to throw away last summer, which reminds me of the fashion from the past in the days of my youth. Thus I combine the practical and the sentimental, parentheses. And without a by your, I don't get this. And without a by your leave, he came by your leave, invitation. "Please get dressed. Bigfoot is dead." For a while I sat speechless with shock. Without a word, I put on my tall snow boots and the first fleece to hand from the coat rack. Wow. I love the way this author organizes her words. The snow was changing into a slow, sleepy shower. Oddball stood next to me in the silence. I love that. Oddball stood next to me in the silence, tall, thin, and bony like a figure sketched in a few pencil strokes. Every time he moved, snow fell from him like icing sugar from pastry ribbons. "What do you mean, dead?" I think this is a woman, the narrator. "What do you mean, dead?" I finally asked, my throat tightening. As I opened the door, but Oddball didn't answer. He generally doesn't say much. He must have Mercury in a reticent sign. I reckon it's in Capricorn or on the cusp, in square or maybe in opposition to Saturn. It could also be Mercury in retrograde. That produces reserve. Wow. We left the house and were instantly engulfed by the familiar cold, wet air that reminds us every winter that the world was not created for mankind, and for at least half the year it shows how very hostile it is to us. And I went on like this, and there's a guy sitting next to me on the bench. I'm reading out loud and working on it, and I used to love to read out loud to people, or in grade school even, because I could read better than anybody else in the school. I love to read out loud, and I've lost the skill over the years. Part of it is because the changes in my dental structure, and because I grew up to be kind of a mumbler. So it was like came back to me, and I started to articulate in ways, in cadence, and I just kept going. I read the first, 7 pages in about 15 minutes, and I kept going back and getting the sentences right. Heather Urschel will remember a dramatic reading I did of the last page and a half of 1984, and I did it like this. But it was all right. Everything was all right. The battle was over. Anyway, I read it like a Hessian or something. And Heather will. She's kind of trying to be nice, and she went, "Whoa, that's a little over the top." And for her to call me over the top, I mean, I'm going to keep doing this. I like the book so far. Thank you, Billy. So I got the book. Didn't get to solve the 50-year mystery, but on the way home, the next morning, on the way home, I was sitting there in front of the in front of the library waiting for my C-van, and I realized that, as I normally do, I'd forgotten to break the 5 to get ones because the fare is only $1. And I didn't have any ones, and I knew I had 60 cents left on my hop card, and I had 50 cents in my pocket for $1. So I got on. I knew it probably wasn't going to work, and I said, you know, I'm glad John Lennon taught us that there are no problems, only solutions. Yeah, we got to work this out somehow. And the bus driver and I talked for a while. There's a girl sitting there, young woman sitting there, and after, you know, maybe 10, 15 seconds, I hear, oh, here, take this. Here, take this. I didn't hear that part. But I hear this, oh, here, take this. Here, take this, take this. And I turned around, and there's this. There was this study in beautiful insanity sitting there with Flintstone jewels around her neck and multiple Flintstone jewels, not bracelets, Flintstone jewels on both arms, Coke bottle glass about that thick. I couldn't see her whole face behind the mask, obviously. But I turned around and said, oh, geez, that's so nice. Thank you so much. And she's like, oh, yeah, well, random acts of kindness. They always come back to you. I said, you know, I believe that too. Thank you. And I sat down, and usually she was sitting here, and there's that many rows. I mean, there's a seat here, and I sat here. I usually would have sat back there. But I sat there, and we talked a little bit, and for some reason, I made a comment about having watched The Planet of the Apes, the original, this last weekend. He said, I love The Planet of the Apes. I love it. You know, she was very enthusiastic. It felt like she wanted to be even more enthusiastic, but wasn't. And I told her the story about, and the bus driver sitting right in front of us. And I know at some point the bus driver, well, we'll get to that. And then she said, oh, I'm Rhea, by the way. I said, oh, hi, I'm Robert. We can't shake hands at the time. Oh, hi, I'm Robert. She says, our names both start with R. That's so cool. Oh, yeah. And a couple of 100 yards went by on the bus, and she turned back to me and said, you're really cool. Do you want to be my friend? And I'm like, yes! Yes, I want to. I wasn't quite that enthusiastic myself, but internally I'm like, and I said, yeah, heck yes, I want to be your friend. And we talked. Oh, man, it was so beautiful. We talked about Vancouver. We talked about where she grew up. She was born in Russia. And I'm like, oh wow, I'm reading this Russian novelist, and that seemed to kind of go over her head the first time. She said, no, but I lived in Longview for a while. I said, oh, that's a lot like Russia. And then I got talking about Amazon.com and my time, how I didn't like Seattle. The only thing I liked about Seattle was when I was gone, either in Japan or Georgia or Maryland, when I was working with Amazon. And we talked about a multitude of things. She was one of the most enthusiastically sweet. God, it just flowed from her. God. And at one point, I said, well, I'm 65. She's like, whoa, you're so old. I'm like, whoa, yeah, but I'm still cool. Yeah, but you're so old. And when we were going up Highway 14, and we were talking. I didn't really realize, and oh my God, oh my God, if she takes this exit to Lisa Road, we're gonna go buy the house that I grew up in. And sure enough, we started going up the hill, and she's like, where? We got to where it is, right there, 300 South Lisa Road. And you guess what? I was always late to school. Yeah. Oh, how can you do that? How can you do that? Oh, God. And I'm not telling you any of the detail of the conversation. But, you know, I didn't want to lose this connection. You know, random people you meet on C-Van or a bus, anywhere, you know, you gotta appreciate the one time you get to see these kind of people in your life. If she's not a Speedy Parker don't exist. Now look it up. I asked her at one point, I said, "Do you do the Facebook thing?" She, "Oh, no, I don't do social media." I know, I'm kind of like that too. Facebook is the only one I do. And we got to my place, and I stood up, and I looked at her and I said, "You know, it's usually the bus drivers that really make my day better when I ride C-Van, but today it's you." I didn't cry then. And I want to thank you for your kindness and for talking to me and for asking me to be your friend. And
Robert,
yeah.
do you want anything to drink?
Some orange juice would be great.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So, you know, there wasn't. I saw that there wasn't going to be any way. I didn't ask her last name. She asked my last name. Oh, that's cool too. And I said, my last name is Dishaw. D-I-S. Oh, Dishaw. That's such a cool name. But I didn't ask hers. But I think I heard her say it was Owen, Rhea Owen. And I said thank you for your kindness, your generosity, and one of the greatest talks I've ever. Oh God, another thing I got to tell her. I got to tell her the thing about when we were talking about movies. I said, "Hey, you know 007, License to Kill?" "Oh yeah, James Bond." I said, "Well, I have one of those kind of numbers from the British Secret Service too. Mine's 0015 and a half. License to Never Grow Up." And oh my God, I thought she was going to go through the roof laughing. It's so fun. You know, obviously at this point, I knew that she was cognitively challenged. So am I. Her cognitive challenges were appearing to be, you know, a little more severe, quite a bit more severe than mine. But, you know, she was on C-Van by herself. She obviously gets around by herself. It's so fun to be around people that are like me. I love y'all, but there are scant few examples of this type of understanding, common ground between me and anybody else. Colleen, maybe. But yeah, it was just so much fun. I got off the bus, and I was just like flying, just literally. I could have Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
See ya.
Bye.
I could have, if I still did that. Oh God, and I made mention at one point of that my first time I did Main Street marijuana. He said, "Oh, you use drugs?" The one kind of, you know, other than totally joyous and positive thing, I said, well, it's just marijuana. It's legal. I don't drink. No, well, the conversation went on, but beautiful little. And I'm not trying to be derogatory when I say beautiful little person. She was slight of stature, but that's got nothing. When I say she's such a beautiful little person, I'm not going to say that because I can't figure out any way to make it not sound degrading in some way. She was a beautiful person. I think I'm going to write something about it. Wow. Anyway, more in a bit, and it won't be so quite emotionally wonderful, but it won't be that. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of this for you. I'll see how far I can get through it. I don't think it's copyrighted. I know an old lady who swallowed a fly. I don't know why she swallowed a fly. Perhaps she's high. I know an old lady who swallowed a spider. Not the fiat, but the kind that wiggled inside her. She swallowed the spider against the fly. I don't know why. Sorry. She swallowed the fly. Perhaps she's high. I know an old lady who swallowed a bird. Not the word, not the word or a turd, but a hummingbird. If she swallows a bird to catch the spider, not the fiat, but the kind that wiggled inside her. Swallow the spider to catch the fly. I don't know why. Just swallow the fly. Perhaps she's high. I know an old lady who swallowed a cat. Not a rat or a bat, but a Siamese cat. Swallowed the cat to catch the bird. Not the word or a turd, but a hummingbird. Swallowed the bird to catch the spider, not the fiat, but the kind that wiggled inside her. Swallowed the spider to catch the fly. I don't know why. Swallowed the fly, perhaps she's high. I know an old lady who swallowed a dog, not a bog, or a cog, but a German Shepherd dog. Swallowed the dog to catch the cat, not a bat or a rat, but a Siamese cat. Swallowed the cat to catch the bird, not a word, not the word or a turd, but a hummingbird. Swallowed the bird to catch the spider, not the fiat, but the kind that wiggled inside her. Swallowed the spider to catch the fly. Oh, wow! She swallowed the fly. Perhaps she's high. I know an old lady who swallowed a cow. I can't imagine how, but she swallowed a cow. Swallowed a cow to catch the dog, not a log or a cog, but a German Shepherd dog. Swallowed the dog to catch the cat, not a bat or a rat, but a Siamese cat. Swallowed the cat. Swallowed the cat to catch the bird, not the word or turd, but a hummingbird. Swallowed the bird to catch the spider. Not the fiat, but the kind that wriggled inside her. She swallow the spider to catch the fly. I don't know why chicks swallow the fly. Perhaps she's high. I know an old lady who swallowed a horse. Crazy old woman was high, of course. Thank you very much. I love that. Oh, that was fun. I've been doing that to myself for years. We'll see you guys. I love you all.